Hey guys, Kaz here, and today it is my birthday. It's always so loud. Oh, it smells. It smells like gunpowder and treason. So, I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to recommend some books you've probably never read. Maybe never even heard of. Well, asterisk there. If you've been on this channel for a while, you probably have heard of most of them. But all these books are going to be ones that have hardly any ratings on Goodreads, that I never see anybody talk about, and that I very much enjoyed. So, I'm going to go some sections. The first section is going to be a couple of non-fiction. So first of all, of course, I cannot do this video without recommending One of Us by Asne Seierstad. This is probably one of the ones that is more popular than a lot of the other books, but also, I had a look on Goodreads, it's only got like 8,000 reviews, which is crazy. And the only other person I've seen talk about this on BookTube is Simone, and that's because I told her to read it. So, this is a non-fiction about the massacre that happened in Norway in 2011, where this guy Anders Breivik went and set a bomb off at one of the parliamentary buildings, and then while everyone's attention was diverted to there, he proceeded to go over to an island where there was loads of kids and young adults there for a political sort of Norway's left-wing type of camp, and he shot and killed many people. I think it was one of, if not the worst terrorist attack in Europe in terms of how many people died. He killed 77 people. This one guy killed 77 people. And this book explores what happened before, during and after this event. What I love the most about this book is how much it pays homage and talks about and makes you think about the actual victims. A lot of true crime books, shows, whatever, TV, podcasts, everything like that, talk a lot about the person who did the crime, but a lot of the time the victims are kind of not as important for some reason, when in fact it should be the opposite way around. So in here we follow some of the people that it happened to during their childhood, what their dreams and aspirations, who they were. You find out all this information about them, and then some of the people that it follows he did kill, some of them survived, and it also talks about what happened after that during the trial and how they all dealt with that. And this book is so powerful. I thought I'd start here because it's like the darkest, you know, a true crime event where 77 people lost their lives. Start here and then hopefully get a little bit less heavy during the video. But if you're interested in true crime at all, then I highly recommend this book. It made me think a lot, it made me cry several times when I talked about it after the reading of it. So yes, definitely highly recommend this book. And then the other non-fiction book I'm going to recommend is The Expedition by Bia Uzma. This is a sort of little mystery trying to figure out something that happened in the past where we don't actually know why it happened. So in 1897, 3 men went in a hot air balloon over to the Antarctic North Pole to try and explore it. They were lost, and 33 years later people found their bodies, but they had enough ammo, food, shelter, all this thing. They had enough of everything that technically they should have survived it. So fast forward even more years, Bia Uzma randomly finds out about this thing happening all them years ago, and this book is about her trying to figure out what happened, going and looking at all the evidence and reading their journals and seeing why these 3 men died. And this is such a gripping tale. I had no idea going in that I would enjoy this book. I think I found it for like £1 at the works, and I absolutely loved it. 5 stars. I find it fascinating. I don't know if other people will. This whole mystery and expeditions I just think is really interesting. This is a super quick book to get to. It's small, it's thin, it's compact, and along with just normal writing, you also have like pictures in here, all the evidence. You've got pictures of the skeletons and sort of what injuries they did or didn't have and why they died and stuff like that. And then in the middle there's a whole section going through all of their diaries and what they said on each day and what they ate and stuff, and trying to predict if we can find out the reasons through that. And it's just super interesting. So if you're like me and you find that sort of thing interesting, expeditions and mysteries and all that business, if you find that interesting, then you will enjoy this book. as a birthday gift from me to you, that's the end of the non-fiction round. So this is the first of several message from our sponsors. Do you want some birthday belly rubs? Next section is Viking Age Scandinavia, because if you've been here, you know I'm a hoe for Scandinavia and for Viking Age stuff. So the first recommendation is Teeth and Claws by Zayafeli. This is a duology set, like I said, in Viking Age Scandinavia. This duology follows 3 characters. The first one is Isa, who is from this village called Ulfheim, and his parents died a long time ago, and he is seen as a bit of an outsider because he has the curse of the Varg, which is like a wolf god. His main sort of plot is him trying to figure out how to get rid of this curse, because basically when he was younger, this is the first chapter in the first book, he meets Rakian, who is our second main character. And Rakian is a slave from across the sea, has been brought over here, he escapes, and when Ice is trying to help him, he also lets this Varg into the village, and that is where it hurts him, and that's where he gets his mark. Rakian disappears again, and 6 years later they find each other again, and Rakian's trying to get home or become his own person. He doesn't want to be a slave. He's trying to get away from this other clan who found him when he was younger and then enslaved him again, bless him. He's not having a good time. And then the third main character is Carol, who is from across the sea, and his whole storyline is based around him trying to get the power of the Varg to save his sister, who is on her deathbed. She's kind of in this sort of coma state where she can't move or do anything, but she's still alive. So his father is trying to send him over, try and figure out where this Varg magic is and get it for himself. That is the main plot, the basic plot, even though it doesn't sound basic. That was kind of all over the place, soz. But this is a great series. It has a lot about magic and runes. There are certain people in the village that can use the magic. There are other people who are sort of like energy sources. So the people that use the runes have to tap into the energy of the other people to be able to get the magic, to be able to use the runes. And then on top of that, you've got all the fun sort of Viking stuff. So there's the different clans, there's battles, there's fighting, there's magic, like I said. And also the main characters, 2 of them are gay, 1 is asexual. I know a lot of people don't see a lot of asexual reps, so I thought I'd throw that in there. And it's just a really great, fun duology. There you go. I feel like I went into that a lot, but also it still didn't make any sense. But it's really good. And then the other book on my Scandinavian Viking little section is Sidemen by James Eric. This is a standalone, and it's about Col, who is a Sideman. Sideman is like a wizard, witch, a powerful person that can do magic. And again, you get all the clans, you get the Viking stuff, you get the battles. Sorceress, that's the word I was looking for, not wizard. Same thing, sorceress. There's also a lot of talk about religion in here, because obviously back in the day there was the Norse gods, and then Christianity came over, so it talks about that as well, and the Christian people trying to get rid of the Norse gods. And it's also about Thorbrand, who is the grandson of the Sideman that takes Col under her wing, and he is like going to become the man of the clan, so he's going to be the one in power, and he's the one that has to sort of like fight with all these different places. And then there's a little bit of a relationship between Col and Thorbrand, so also gay Viking, Norse, Scandinavia. That's this. Guess what, it's that time. Let's hear another little sponsor video, shall we? Yes we shall. Birthday Blipsy, birthday Blipsy. Hello. You're a bit cute. Next up, we have a little fantasy section, and you're going to see a little bit of a theme in this fantasy section. So first of all, I'm recommending Heirs of Power by Kay MacLeod. This is my sister. This is the first book in the Constellation Saga. The second book, The Mage Lord's Legacy, is out. The third book is currently being written, so it's not going to be too much longer. And basically this follows a group of people that all have different powers that are trying to save their world from this other race that's trying to take all the power and destroy it and take it for their own. And it's just a great series. A main character in here is Kitty, and she finds out that she has the archer power, which means she's really good with a bow. She's got a fancy magic bow that is just a bow, and then you pull the imaginary string back and then it's an arrow straight there. So can never run out of arrows, which is always a bonus. She also has other powers being the archer, so she got really good vision. She can see really far. Some of the other characters that have powers in here are just so fun. We've got the juggler, who if he touches anything close to him, he can juggle it with something else if he can see it. He's amazing. Asher is such a sarcastic troll, but also has a heart of gold. You know, one of them, we love to see it. And then all the other characters are great. Just the whole gang vibe in here is great. They sort of meet along the way. This first book is mainly all the characters trying to find the other characters and meet them, but then there's also battles and all that good stuff. Definitely check it out if you like high fantasy, if you like people with fun powers, if you like battles and other races trying to take over the world, then give it a read. And then the other book in the fantasy section, you will see the theme, is The Carnelian Fox by Kay MacLeod. Yes, this is a different series. So this one, the second book just came out in October. That is called The Amethyst Panda. The third book will be written soon. It's a good time. Basically, if you enjoy Pokemon and Digimon and monster catching games, then you will love this series. It is all based around monster catching and monsters becoming real. So basically what happens in here is Mayamon are created because people want that sort of game in real life. And then, like most games, people get bored of them and just let their Mayamon free into the wild. And there they thrive, they start reproducing, they start taking over the wild. And in this series, the world has all these different Mayamons that have taken over the places. The cities have to have people there to protect them because some of the Mayamon are going to be big and scary and have powers, all that. And in here we follow Sam, who is a young girl who's just finished college, just got her first Mayamon, and is trying to gather enough points to be able to become one of these people that goes around and helps out and keeps the bad ones at bay. So, like I said, with all the Pokemon, you've got all the fun stuff in here. You've got her going to different gyms and trying to fight and do different fun things with the Mayamon and gathering enough points to become what she wants to become. Also, there's some harrowing stuff in here. You know, I love the harrowing, and in here you probably won't expect it to be emotional, but this is Pokemon for adults, so there is death, there is destruction, there is fighting. It's great. A fantasy section over. Shall we hear from the sponsors again? I think we shall. Hello, Belugains. Belulu. You're cute. Oh, you're just looking because one's getting fed, aren't you? Hello, wonderful. There are two more sections, guys, and this next one is Dark Contemporary. Again, if you've been here for a while, you know that dark, harrowing contemporary is my shit, is my jam, it's what I like. So here are some. First of all, we have Heavyweight by M.B. Mulhall. This is about a boy who is a wrestler who is dealing with his sexuality. He obviously doesn't want people to know that he's gay, being on the mat wrestling people all the time. But also a big part of this book is him dealing with an eating disorder. So Ian has this thing with eating, with binging and purging and not eating and trying to be the right weight for his wrestling team, which is really good because you don't really see that very often in books or in media, a boy dealing with an eating disorder. So even just for that, it's a great read. Like I said, this is the harrowing dark contemporary section, so this deals with a lot of dark things. It's the eating disorder, homophobia, bullying, all that. There is a male-male romance in here as well. He does find a boy that he likes, but definitely one to read if those sort of things are not going to be triggering or upsetting. And then the other book in the dark contemporary section is The Glass House by Suki Fleet. So this follows Sasha, who had a really harrowing childhood experience, and because of that he's kind of doesn't really talk to people. He stays in his own lane, he's not really very sociable, and he spends a lot of his time making art with broken glass. So he'll smash up glass and then create stuff with the glass. He's kind of self-destructive, he's kind of antagonistic, but then he meets Thomas, who is lovely and shy boy who's really cute and just wants to be Sasha's friend and just wants to know him, and then, you know, a romance ensues. Thomas is just always there trying to be a nice influence. He also has asthma, which again is something you don't really see very often in books. It's something that so many people deal with in real life, but like, ask my rep, what's that? It exists in this one. But also dark contemporary. This deals with a lot of dark issues. The stuff that happened to Sasha as a child does come up. There's abuse, sexual abuse as a child. A very dark but a very great book. Here is the last section of the sponsors. Watch it, enjoy it, because I'm coming back with the graphic novel selection after this. Birthday Tim in a birthday box. True, a birthday present did come in this box. Hello, wonderful. Hello, wonderful. So like I just mentioned, the last section is graphic novels. This one, they're probably got the most ratings out of any of the books on here because a lot of people read graphic novels, but I feel like these two are ones that I don't see people on BookTube talking about, which is why I'm recommending them. So first of all, we have the Young Avengers, and specifically the first run. This is the complete first run of Young Avengers. It actually happened in 2005 to 2006. A lot of people don't realise that this one exists. They've seen or read or at least heard of the reboot, which came out in like 2013, I think. But it did actually exist before then, and I don't see anybody talking about this one, so this is my recommendation. Young Avengers is about, guess what? Young Avengers. So it's just a bunch of teenagers that all have powers and come together as a group and do all of the fun Avengery type stuff, but in their own way, a little bit worse than Avengers because they're all young and don't have a lot of experience and stuff. There's time travel, there's aliens, there's shape-shifting, there's a male-male romance, imagine that. In here we do have a few characters that are related to other people that you might know. So Ant-Man has a daughter called Cassie Lang. She is one of the Young Avengers. And all the other characters do have some sort of, not necessarily relation, but some sort of link to other Avengers. So you've got a sort of an Iron Man one, you've got Vision, but a young Vision. You've got a Captain America-esque guy. So I just remembered, obviously I should show you some artwork because it's comics. So there you go. And then the last recommendation for this video is Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire. So this one is sometimes kind of hard to get. I've only read the first 4 volumes, there's 2 more, but I just can't find them anywhere. So it's a hard one to get, but if you can find it, I definitely recommend it. This follows Gus, who is this hybrid of a human and animal. So basically, for some reason, at a point in time, every child that was born, for some reason, had some sort of part of an animal. And because of that, government, other people, bad people, like to go and find these kids and take them and kill them or experiment on them to try and figure out why they're like this. So Gus is trying to stay away from all that. He lives in a house in the middle of the woods with his father, but then when his father dies, he's trying to figure out what to do with his life and how to go about finding a place to stay and a place to live, and it's just really good. Some of the other characters you meet later on in the volumes, I just absolutely love. They're so cute. It is a dark story, as you can tell, with the whole, you know, hunting down and killing and experimenting on children, but it's a great story nonetheless. And here is the sort of artwork in here. So it's not the usual glossy graphic novel, it's on this matte sort of paper. So there we go, those were some recommendations for books you've probably never heard of, or at least never read. Let me know down below if any sound interesting. Let me know down below if you've read any. That'll be interesting as well. Just say some words down below. If this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, then please check out some of the others. And if you continue to enjoy, then please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye. Hey Mons, how you doing, wonderful? You're a bit cute, aren't you? And while we're here, we might as well pan over to the bun. Hey bunny, how you doing, cutie cutie? You're cute.